I just got my fucking phone stolen in Colombia, in Medellin, and I got stabbed. Fun. Alright, so this is a story of how I got my phone stolen in Colombia and then got stabbed in the arm right after this. Welcome guys in this video. It's been a long time since I've uploaded any kind of vlogs or updates in the life, and it's been because I've been busy working on some other projects with the business, and I'm with my beautiful girlfriend Kat in Medellin, Colombia right now for mastermind, and we've been here for like 9 days.
Yeah.
And yeah, funny story. got my phone stolen, and then got attacked in Medellin, and in the wrong neighborhood. So we thought we like just shared the story because it's I don't know, just like daily updates, and like it's I don't know, like a surprising.
Yeah, and I think it's important that people realize that it can happen. You need to be aware of where you are in the world. Obviously, we're not in Canada here, and it's different. So if it can help you, if you want to travel to Colombia or anywhere else, then good for you.
Exactly, and also share like bits of the lessons that I've been able to take away from this experience, itself. So let me tell you the story of how, like, first of all, I lost my phone, and like, first of all, because it got robbed, and also how I got literally stabbed. First of all, before we actually went to Colombia, Kat saw on TikTok a super nice restaurant with a plane on it, and it was like a theme around airplanes.
Yeah.
And it looked really, really sick. And by the way, if you want to know the name of like that restaurant where we're heading to, just let me know down below in the comments, and I'll let you know the name. But we were about to head over there, and it was only 6:15 p.m. But here in Colombia, it gets dark really, really quick. Like at about 6, it's like pitch black. So we were in a Uber, because like over here you Uber everywhere, and it was about because we stayed in El Poblado, like that's like the rich neighborhood, but we were about to go to that restaurant, and it was in the north, or like downtown actually, but we didn't know we like shouldn't have gotten there in the first place, right? Like nobody told us before, like never go downtown, never go up north, it's dangerous, it's run by gangs. So yeah, we're just like super naive, like in a sense, just wanted to have a good time at this fancy restaurant. In the Uber driver, with the Uber driver for like 15 minutes, 20 minutes?
20 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, 20 minutes. My window was down a little bit by what? This? Yeah.
And mine was closed.
Yeah, and then we were both on our phones. I think we were like posting stories.
Yeah, posting content of the day.
Yeah, it's just like creating content, and then we were the car wasn't on the go. It was stopped. We were like in traffic in the middle of the city. So there's a lot of things going on. Like people trying to sell stuff in the street. Like people walking by. Then suddenly a guy literally puts both of his hands inside the car, like throughout the window, grabbed my phone, and then pulls it as hard as he could. And then like it took me a second to realize what the fuck was going on, because like I'm not used to that type of life, and you're not either.
No.
So obviously like my first reflex was like to pull back, but then it just didn't work. Like he had too much of a grip,
and you were surprised.
I was surprised. I wasn't expecting. I wasn't ready. So then he actually got my phone out of the car, and then I was like, I think I told you, like, yo, what's going on? Like, he just grabbed my phone.
You screamed. First you screamed, because I didn't see what happened. I didn't saw. I was on my phone also, and I just heard a scream, like, really loud, and then I turned around, and you didn't even look at me and said, yo, he got my phone. Something like that.
Yeah.
And then you tried to open the door.
Yeah. Then I tried to like open up the door, but like it was super dark at night, and like I'm not used to the cars that they have here, like the Renault and what are the other cars? Like mostly Renaults, but like we don't have this in Canada, so like I'm not used to like how the door handle works or whatever. So it took me like 2 seconds to like open up the door, but like it felt like an eternity. I was like, dude, let me just open that door. I'm gonna like go get my phone back and like beat the shit out of this guy, So then I finally managed to actually open up the door, slam the door on that guy.
Yeah, it was like amazing. Honestly, it's a trauma for us, honestly. That happened on our first night, but that moment was amazing. Like it's like you released a tiger, like an enraged tiger. Like it was crazy how it was hard on him, but then
Yeah, like you could actually hear like the door hit his face and hit like his whole body.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyways, that was like a moment of like satisfaction,
Oh, yeah.
pure satisfaction. Then went out the car. I didn't realize at that time, but I didn't have my glasses. Like whenever he pulled the phone out of the car, like he pulled it so strong that like I didn't realize it, but like I lost my glasses, and then like I had like a huge mark on my face, and then you can't really see it now. But, like it's pretty much healed, but like on my thumb, like it's like half of it was blue.
Yep.
I think it was because I pulled hard. I put like so hard to like try to like keep the phone in the car that like my thumb actually like turned blue.
Yeah.
So this is like how hard I pulled.
You broke some blood vessels.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Exactly. So anyways, got out the car, didn't realize I didn't have my glasses, so like I can't really see really well. It's really pitch dark at night. I just walk, I try to run a little bit, then the only thing I see is a guy with a red shirt looking at me and doing this. Pop! And then this is when I realized, shit, he just stabbed me with a knife. Because like then I immediately put my hand here. At the time, there's like so much adrenaline that it only felt like I got stung by a bee. But obviously like he basically stabbed me in the arm with a knife. But then I didn't even think, I didn't process what was going on. I was just like, all right, he stabbed me. Let me go back in the car because like this is like safest thing to do. Then I went in the car. Then I was like, I told Kat, yo, he just stabbed me. We gotta get out of there.
It takes a moment to realize you were from Canada, right? No one's armed, thankfully. And obviously, when you're in South America, or you don't fight back. If you get your things stolen, you don't fight back because they are armed, and there's poverty, and poverty causes crimes, and it's like that. So our first reflex, even me, wasn't to say, hey, no, Michael, don't go. That's not safe. I was like, yeah, go get your phone back, because that's what we would do in Montreal. I won't, but he would fight back. So the first reflex was like, go get your phone back. And I didn't even think, it was so fast. So then he came back with his arm against his other arm, and he's like, yo, I got stabbed. And for me, it was like, it's not even possible, you know? And then I look, and there's blood coming down, and then it's when I realized, okay, he got stabbed for real, like it happened. So he hopped back in the car, and then we obviously like locked the doors. We put back up the windows, and we asked the Uber driver to come back to the hotel. The hotel, we didn't went to the restaurant, obviously.
Yeah. And like during that time, whenever like he grabbed my phone, at the same time, she was on the other side of the car in the back seat, and another guy tried to actually open up her door. Like she heard tick tick, just like if someone like tried to open up the door but it's locked. So like they have the audacity to like open up a door in the car and just rob you. So this is crazy. Like when I heard that, I was like, I can't believe they are like that desperate, or like they would do anything to rob. And of course, like the best piece of advice I can give you if you're like traveling abroad in these kind of countries would be like to like not look like a gringo. And like we didn't know that, but like of course I look like the biggest gringo on earth. And of course I look like the biggest gringo on earth, so we didn't know that. But it makes you a target, right?
Yeah, it did. Well, we knew it was making us a target. Yeah. Obviously he's 6 foot and above, he's blonde, blue eyes, or in South America, everyone's like dark eye, dark hair, so he stands out a lot. I do, but less than him. So obviously you're a target. We knew that, but we didn't think that they would have the audacity to try to open the car. We were in the car. We felt safe in the car, you know. We're not in the middle of the street, like taking pictures. So you're never safe, and protect your belongings like really badly. Like don't be on your phone if you're in a taxi, in Uber, in the metro, anywhere. Your phone must be hidden at all times. If you need to take it out, like make sure you're against the wall, or you're with someone, or in the toilet. Just don't show it out. Obviously, Michael had a iPhone 13, like Pro Max, shiny object for them. Obviously, it worth a lot of money. So be safe. We always think that it's gonna happen to someone else.
Yeah.
And then it happens to you and you're like, well, I was kind of advised, but I didn't think it would happen to me.
Yeah, and what's funny is like 2 weeks before going to Colombia, because that was my second time in Colombia in Medellin, so I wasn't really scared. But I was looking up videos on YouTube of people like, you know, literally stealing phones out of the cars, like out of the cars in the streets when they were in traffic. I was exactly watching the same thing that happened to me. So crazy. You never think like it's gonna happen to you, like she said, but it actually does. And we met a couple friends here in Medellin recently, and you know, they told us like crazy stories as well. Even like this in the safe neighborhoods, you're never really safe. So I'll just advise like you be careful. Like I never have anything like in my pockets, and I just wear like a what's it called, that like a little bag. Like that you put across my
bag.
Yeah, but I wear like inside my shirt so it doesn't show, because otherwise like it's super easy to like cut off and just, you know, run away with it. So anyways, yeah, that's that. You know, obviously got my phone stolen. It's a pain in the ass process to like log everything, change passwords, call my banks, make sure like my identity doesn't get stolen. Then I have like my 2FAs, like my, you know, two-factor authentication logins that like are sending codes to my phone. Then I don't have access to my phone. Then I like need to block my phone number. So like obviously like it's, you know, a painful process, but it is what it is, right? And last thing I wanted to let you guys know is, obviously looking at this like traumatizing, right? If you've never experienced these kind of things, like it's, you know, you get attacked, you get stabbed in the arm for doing absolutely nothing, and you obviously can't let this affect you long term, because if you do, it'll just get worse and worse. Because we were just like repeating this event like in our head over and over again. But the problem with this is you always get in your head and you relive that event and these emotions every single time, and then you get stuck in the past and then you can't move on. So any kind of trauma doesn't need to be like an attack when you're traveling. It could be anything, like something that you know, you've experienced in your past. I don't think it should hold you back anymore. You should be able to like, you know, forgive that person that did wrong to you, that did that harm to you, and then be able to move on. And the second thing I wanted to mention, like the you know, mental check mark to do with anything that happened like this is to, I wouldn't see that event as a bad thing necessarily, nor a good thing. I think everything is neutral, and that's something that I try to keep whenever I experience something. Nothing is bad or good. Everything is neutral. It is really what you make, like the interpretation that you have of the event, that will make it good or bad. Because for example, you look at this and, you know, it could be seen as a bad thing, a bad event, but in reality, maybe it's a good thing, because if we wouldn't have our phone stolen and I didn't get stabbed, maybe we would have been like carefree at the restaurant, and then maybe would be like dead by now, you know, like we don't know.
Fully attacked, you know,
yeah.
Both of us, and they didn't steal my phone, they didn't steal my cars, they didn't have our money. It was only his phone. It's big already, but it could have been worse. It could have been both of us. It could have been a full attack. It could have been a kidnap. We were so aware, like we're leaving tomorrow, and we're so aware now that we obviously like dodged some bullets by being really alert, and that's because he got his phone stolen. So is it a bad thing? Obviously, like you don't want that to happen to anyone, but maybe it saved us from way worse for the rest of the trip.
Exactly. Let me tell you guys like what happened like after the Uber, like in the Uber. First of all, the Uber driver like wasn't phased up, like he was like unfazed. Like he looked like used to that type of stuff, and he was just like, oh sorry, it happened to you. He gave me like a rug that he found in his car, like an old dusty rug, and then she like wrapped it against, you know, around my arm. It doesn't look big at all. I mean, it could have been worse, to be honest. Like it could have been in my, like literally in my throat. Could have been like on, it could have been deeper. It was just a warning sign to tell me like, hey look dude, I have your phone, you have like, you know, you have zero chance against us. So yeah, first thing we do is she wrapped this around me, because like I was like, you know, blood was like just going everywhere on my clothes and like in the car and on my arm. And obviously we wanted to like stop the blood from like dripping. Yeah. Her Spanish is way better than mine, but like in the moment we weren't really able to communicate like, hey, let's go back to the hotel. So like it took like a couple back and forth.
We were able, but like it was difficult. It was like, oh, we're going to the restaurant. Like, no, what the fuck, no, we're not going to the restaurant. Bring us back to the hotel. But I was shaking my life. I was trying to type the hotel on my phone, and I was making so many mistakes because my boyfriend just got his phone stolen and stabbed, you know? So I was completely like shaken. And obviously Michael was just trying to like deal with his problem right now. So yeah, finally we make a U-turn and we go back to the hotel. And on the way back, you know, when the adrenaline kicks in, you're like on the emotion. So until we were like maybe 5 minutes into our way back to the hotel, I was like, you know, fine. And then I realized what just happened to us, and I just cried. Like I bawled out, like I was really just crying from the stress, you know. I felt like my security, we were really like in danger. Like it's your integrity that gets attacked when you get attacked that way. It was really hard on that moment, but I tried to control myself because obviously I wasn't the one who got her phone stolen and stabbed, and Michael stayed like really calm throughout all of this. I didn't know how he did that, but yeah, so we were coming, and then we arrived at the hotel.
Then erased all the passwords, changed the passwords, erased the phone and everything. Then next morning, we like went to the hospital, did the triage over there. I was supposed to make like a deposit of like $1,000. But then, you know, when we were talking at the triage center, a guy sitting next to us said, hey, do you need help? Like he saw we were struggling and like they weren't speaking English.
So it was hard to explain, like, you know, in triage in the hospital, you need to explain everything that happened and try explaining that in Spanish when you don't really speak Spanish. So that really nice guy named Brian came and said, like, do you need help translating? Yeah,
so Brian, this really nice guy, helped us translating, and then we ended up talking to him. That guy was like originally Colombian, but now lives in Orlando. And he said, oh wait, like my wife's sister is actually a, what do you call that?
A surgeon, as an aesthetic.
Yeah, aesthetic surgeon. And she can probably, you know, stitch you up. So then we're like, okay, sure. So we just met this guy. We don't know anything about him, but we're like, all right, like gut feeling, it seems like we can trust this guy.
And
but
we didn't know, like, because he gave us an appointment. He said you can go at 3. It was like 1:40 at that time, and you're in the hospital. We don't know. Would it be like 5 hours, 10 hours, 3 hours, 1 hour? So we're like, you know what? We had a good feeling about them, a gut feeling that they were truly trying to help us. We said, fuck it, we're gonna go.
So then we decided to go, met the doctor. She was really nice, really took care of us, really, really nice place, really good service. And then, yeah, so I got like 2 stitches. And then after that, got some like antibiotics, you know, through my veins. And then, you know, at the end I was like shaking because like antibiotics were like so strong and like my body was like getting cold. And then got like a tetanus shot at another place.
So we went, they couldn't, since it was in the hospital and was this like an aesthetic clinic, they had to send us over for his tetanus shot. I forgot part. So we hopped in another Uber. Like at this point, he got how do you say jelly?
Yeah, I couldn't feel anything.
Yeah, they like, you know, to so he
like frozen.
Frozen, yeah. He's has been stitched, and then the antibiotics. So we're taking a Uber to another point of the city, and as we arrived to the tetanus shot clinic.
No, you forgot something before.
What?
Well, on our way to like getting to that clinic though, it's funny because like we didn't know where it was exactly, and then we were like on the 10th floor where it's supposed to be, and then the only thing we saw was like across a huge office was a sign like this, right? Like a cross, just like a hospital. So then we're like, oh, it's probably over there, like across the office. But like to get there, you need to like go through the office where you had literally like 100 people working at their individual desk with like headphones and like all dressed like clean. And they're probably like sales reps. And then
we're looking like the biggest gringos out there.
We had like sandals,
shorts. We're just like not caring at all. And you know, we're both confident in life, and we just like, you know what, probably there, and we just walk. So nobody stops us because we look like we know where we're going, obviously. But then we arrive and we realize that it's not there. So like someone is like, can I help you guys? And we're like, oh yeah, we're looking for that clinic. And oh, it's the building across the street. So we're looking at each other, we're like, okay, so we need to pass by all those people again, like walk of shame out of their office. So we do that.
Yeah, it was just really funny because like then we walk back and then everybody's there. There's literally like 100 people like
laughing,
walking
also.
And like laughing.
Yeah.
But anyways, it was like just funny because like we were just like looking like the biggest gringos. Like I was like in my sandals, like my little shorts. Like,
Yeah,
so, anyways, then we go back, take another Uber to that other place to get a tetanus shot. Then it starts raining and like crazy.
Crazy running.
Crazy raining. And then like, I'm not sure what the term is in English, but like starts getting like these like big balls of like ice like dropping down on our heads. And then we're like, what the hell is going on? And then we like finally make it there. It takes like, a couple minutes. We get the tetanus shot and then go back. Then the next morning, next thing you know, was it the next morning or at the
No,
evening?
No, it's not. We missed a part of that story. Okay, so we finished at the appointment and we need to make 2 other stops, the tetanus shot and the pharmacy because he needs to take some antibiotics for a week and painkillers. So the doctor says, oh, you just need to go to the 3rd floor. There's a pharmacy there. So we're like, oh, perfect. So we arrive at the pharmacy and there's no power. Like for half of
half of the mall was like out of electricity for like no reason. Just because it was like super raining super heavily.
So we're like, okay.
So like they couldn't serve us. Like
No.
we went in there and like there was like 2 staff members and they were like, yeah, sorry, there's no electricity right now. Like we can't help you. So then we're like, oh my god.
So then we went to the tetanus shot and then we had to stop to the pharmacy because he didn't have that. So we stopped there, no problem there, and we took the
meds.
The meds, and then we head back to the hotel.
Yeah, and was it that day that like I did like the 2 interviews or like the next day?
Oh, it was that day. Yeah.
Then after all this happened,
it took like 10 hours. Like we left the hotel at maybe 8 and we arrived back at 6.
Yeah. And then exactly. And then at 6 I had an interview for a sales director position I'm hiring for. And then after that I had another call with like one of my team members, I believe. So like I did like 2 full-on interviews for my company right after all of this. And then she's just looking at me like, yeah, I don't know how you do this.
Yeah, honestly, like you need to remember that throughout all of this, like he didn't cry once. He didn't even show like a sign of panic. Like he was really, really calm. And after all that day, I was like exhausted, and I was not the one getting stitched up, antibiotic. It was just really mentally also draining to like figure out everything we needed to do. And he's just like, okay, let me hop on a few calls, open the window, not the window, but the computer, and does like his call for an hour. And I was looking at him like, you're superhuman. Honestly, I could not have been doing that. So yeah.
So anyways, obviously I was blessed to have Kat with me by my side when this happened, because like it was like, tough time to manage everything by myself. And obviously because my Spanish isn't that great, I would have struggled way much to get things going over there. But my recommendation is like for you to be safe whenever you are traveling. You are not in your own country. You have different cultures, different things going on that you're not aware. And then also make sure to be aware of like the good neighborhoods and the wrong neighborhoods and what to do and what not to do.
And ask locals. That would help. That helped us. We looked on the internet. Obviously, we're not stupid before coming, and no one said that we shouldn't go up north from where we were. So as soon as you arrive, talk to some locals or some people that went through that trip, just to make sure that you avoid those situations, because there are bad places everywhere around the world. It's not Colombia, it's everywhere. So yeah. Make sure to talk to locals.